right, shalom, shalom, giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rachak, Wadash, double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect of the tabernacles of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, wherever you may be. Wherever you may be, shalom, Yashua, shalom. We're going to get into various articles. This is our second session here. I want to talk about this, all right? We're going into one of our, pretty much our plant talks. You know, I often talk about space, and I often talk about plants, okay? This time, right, the focus is on the planet, the trees, and things of that nature. So it says, and this is our first article. The other article we're going to grab is pretty much the same. So it says, Bill Gates plans to chop down billions of trees to radically address climate change. Now, we just talked about or read a little bit about climate change in the other article from the last session dealing with Dr. Evil, okay? And these are real agendas, and this is not the first time that we talked about, because they have they're trying to get rid of 70 million, 80, 90 million trees or whatever. All right, and we're going to talk about these things, all right, briefly. So it says, Bill Gates plans to chop down billions of trees to radically address climate change. And there's him right there. It says, billionaire eugenicist Bill Gates has devised a radical plan to permanently address climate change, the destruction of billions of the world's trees, okay? So it says, according to Gates, the solution to climate change is to chop down all the world's trees and bury them in order to stop global boiling. Yes, this is what he said, okay? Not a lie. The best solution is to chop down the trees, not sell them, not use them, whatever, but to bury the trees, all right? So it says it's called breakthrough energy, because Bill Gates always names his missions the opposite of what they accomplish. That's funny. Okay. The opposite of what they accomplish. Just like with his Vicky terrorization schemes. Talk about fake science. Where does Bill Gates find these poser scientists willing to shield for this insane scheme? He finds amongst his group of individuals, all right? The WEF and stuff like that. The WHO. It says, believe it or not, U.S. Forest Services is prepared to thin out 70 million acres of western forest, much of which is in California, over the next 10 years. Gates says this will reduce carbon dioxide, right, CO2, in the air so we can all breathe better, which is the furthest thing from science ever, and absolutely factual, okay? Because here's the things with tree, all right? Let's get a little brainy here. All right, we talk about this all the time. The photosynthesis process, all right? Trees grow roots in the earth, not only to plant them deep, just, you know, for sake of being sturdy, but the most important reason for that is because there's minerals and water under the earth that they need, okay? So they take in, all right? So CO2, the more CO2 in the air, the hotter the earth will be, right? So through the photosynthesis process, the natural energy, which is the sunlight, the trees take in. They take the carbon from the air, they take the water from the earth, and in that process, they produce, you know, whatever nutrients, whatever sugar that they need, but also they produce and put out oxygen that we need, okay? Now, here's to show you that these devils are liars, because their agendas clash with one another. So they have the deforestation agenda, okay? So if you take down all the trees, the earth will be hotter, right? But on the other hand, these idiots are trying to block out the sun. Naturally, because we read this the other day, Ecclesiasticus, let me get it real quick. In Ecclesiasticus 43, do I have one of those? Yep, let me get this Bible here, all right? Let me pull this up real quick, okay? Because we just read this the other day, all right? I think a few times we've been reading this as of late, all right? Ecclesiasticus chapter 43. The sun, all right? With the pride of the height, the clear firmament, the beauty of heaven, with his glorious show. The sun, when it appeareth, declaring at his rising a marvelous instrument, the work of the Most High. At noon it parcheth the country, and who can abide the burning heat thereof? All right, so the sun is putting a lot of heat on the planet, and then you have CO2 putting also a lot of heat on the planet. If you block out the sun, because think about it at night, does the nighttime get cool? Now, of course, you're dealing with spring or something like that, not so much, all right? But let's use where we are in this time period right now. Let's use winter, for example. At night in winter, it's going to get cold. So imagine an earth without a sun. Take Alaska, for example. If there's no sun, In the daytime in Alaska, it's freezing cold. At nighttime, it's even colder. Okay, even deserts get cold. Okay, so think about an Earth without a sun. It would be naturally cool all over the Earth all the time. But on the other hand, if you take down all the trees, all right, you have now the CO2 that's still heating up the Earth. Okay, and through that whole process, also the trees help cool the Earth when they take those things in. Okay, and we'll probably try to find some clips that we can add to you, like a little mini helpful hints and info in the middle of this session here. All right, to bring things into more perspective, in case you're not, getting it, the way that I'm explaining it, Lord willing, that I'm, making it simple as possible. Okay, but these things are important to understand, man, especially dealing with that photosynthesis process, which is why we always talk about it, man. The importance of those things, not only for the trees, but for us as people, because through that process, they put out oxygen. We need oxygen to breathe. Okay. So it says a man blowing a furnace is in works of heat, but the sun burneth the mountains 3 times more, breathing out fiery vapors and sending forth the bright beams, it dimmeth the eyes. Okay, so we pretty much just want to read that just to make the point there. So we go back to the article, what this crazy guy is saying. It says that Gates says this will reduce carbon dioxide in the air so we can all breathe better. But the trees take in carbon dioxide as part of the process, and they put out oxygen as one of those things that are put out through the process. Now, they do release carbon, okay, overnight or whatever. But that's why trees are so important, because it's a process. It's a cycle. The Lord created the trees to be that way. That is part of their purpose. It is a cycle. So trees are extremely important to the planet, okay?
We get a lot of comments like this. So how do we actually know CO2 makes the planet hotter? Buckle up, we will need to get a little nerdy for this. The sun heats the Earth. Some of that heat travels back into space. On the way up, greenhouse gases like CO2 catch some of it and keep it in the atmosphere. Kinda like a huge blanket wrapped around the planet. The more CO2 in the atmosphere, the hotter it gets. And this is not just a theoretical concept. Scientists have measured the heat coming down from the atmosphere. They traced which gases are responsible for keeping it stuck there. And there we have it, CO2 is the main culprit.
Trees are a constant presence in our lives, as we have relied on them for shelter and food for millions of years. Sadly, they're being removed by growing industry and consumer demand at a historic rate. But why exactly do we need them? Let's explore the 6 key pillars of how trees help us and our environment. Have you ever noticed that the air feels fresher in a forest? That's because trees act as natural air filters, absorbing harmful pollutants. This is especially vital in urban areas, which are often polluted by industry and transportation. They can reduce up to 24% of particulate matter around them, cleaning the air and cooling our heat-trapping cities. Trees are also a major line of defense against floods and landslides. Their intricate root systems slow down water's absorption into the soil and help prevent waterslide erosion. A single evergreen tree can intercept up to 15,000 liters of water a year, and in areas prone to dangerous floods, this is crucial. Forests are home to 80% of Earth's terrestrial plant and animal species. A single tree can house hundreds of species of insect, fungi, mammals, and plants. Likewise, trees depend on their residents to disperse seeds, control insects, and keep them from overgrowing, which leads to healthy and thriving ecosystems. Trees are not just important for the environment, but for our society as well. Over 1.6 billion people directly or indirectly depend on forests for their livelihoods. That includes relying on the natural resources as well as the job opportunities they provide. From arborists to loggers and researchers, the forestry industry employs millions. Everyone knows the feeling of calm and elation when walking through a forest. Trees are known to reduce stress and anxiety and protect our skin from harmful solar radiation. They have been found to prevent almost $7 billion in health costs across the United States annually by filtering air pollution and improving our mental health. The air filtration effects of trees add up on a planetary scale. They cool the Earth by absorbing and storing carbon dioxide and converting it into oxygen. A single tree can absorb as much as 48 pounds of CO2, making trees the most effective carbon capture machines we have available. With such a wide array of benefits, it's no wonder we love trees. Fighting deforestation and replanting damaged forests are crucial tasks for the coming decades, both to improve our well-being and prevent the most dangerous effects of climate change.
Most of us know that trees and plants produce a significant portion of the oxygen in our atmosphere, but a lesser-known fact is that trees also need to breathe in a lot of oxygen to survive. Trees take in sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water and make their own food in the form of sugars and starches, and they also release a lot of oxygen in the process. But what happens at night when the sun is down and the tree can't photosynthesize? So at all times, but especially at night, the tree is taking in oxygen through its leaves and its roots and its bark, and it's using that oxygen to break down the food that it made during the day, and as a result, it shoots out carbon dioxide and water. Now obviously trees are putting out a lot more oxygen than they're taking in ultimately, and that's because the tree needs to photosynthesize more than it respires. In other words, it needs to take in more energy than it uses if it wants to stay alive. This is one of the main reasons why trees in the urban environment struggle. When we give them this much space, their roots have no available oxygen because it's surrounded entirely by concrete, so the tree roots rip up the sidewalk sometimes to get more oxygen from the air.
Not one single human being will benefit from this. No homes will be built, no wood burned to keep people warm in the freezing winter. This is all about destroying the planet, absolutely. Reducing the world's population by several billion people, you see, another one of their agendas, while injecting everyone with, you see it, spike prions that help put everyone 6 feet underground soon with all the trees. Climate change cult is led by psychopathic Bill Gates, who plans to chop down all the world's trees so we can breathe, all right? You see, and people understand this, man, that the trees actually put out oxygen. The tree, it's a healthy thing to be around trees. The more trees, the better, okay? The more trees, the more oxygen. The more trees, the more filtration. You see? It says avoid drinking whatever Kool-Aid Bill Gates is drinking because it makes you believe that chopping down all the forest and burning the trees will save Earth from global warming and help all the humans breathe. You see how it doesn't make sense when you understand these things? What they're saying doesn't make sense. This man needs to be locked up in prison, and the key is what needs to be buried, not the tree, okay? Not the trees, all right? Okay, so it says Bill Gates is investing millions of dollars in a system of chopping down and burying trees to supposedly reduce carbon dioxide in the air, which makes no sense at all. And once again, if you understand the whole process, you absolutely understand why it makes no sense. This is a so-called business because they are getting money for carbon offsets. Watch for the name Kadama Systems to be running and promoting this psycho biz. It's a simple plan: kill the trees and kill all the people and bury it all underground together. The cover story: dead trees keep carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere for thousands of years if you just bury their remains underground. So do people. And that's just nonsense, man. Okay? These things are there, okay? They're going to be there. But the Lord set up everything perfectly, man. When everything was created, he said it was good. The Elohim said it was good, okay? Everything was made perfect, okay? Every little process, okay? Even if some seemed a little bad, but there's a process in there into everything. There's a cycle in all things, man. But E comes in and says that, oh, this thing is not right, or this thing is awful. We're going to fix it for you guys of the world. It's nonsense, man. Kadama Systems, a forest management company based in the Sierra Nevada foothills town of Sonora, has been operating in stealth mode for years, so nobody knows about this insanity. Now, Bill Gates and MIT Technology Review are now reporting the company has raised around $6.6 million to wipe out all chances of human survival on Earth. In so many words, To top it off, the payments processing company Stripe will provide a $250,000 research grant as part of the insane carbon removal plan. The trees will be buried in the Nevada desert where nobody can use the wood for anything ever. This will help prevent the release of greenhouse gases that, along with cow farts, there you go, you see, cow farts is destroying the planet, supposedly, allegedly, okay? And this is how diabolical these people are, man, to get their way, to fulfill their enterprise, man. And man, I'm telling you, man, if you don't think these devils have to be moved out of the way, then you need to be moved out of the way with them. Let me pull up Ecclesiastes, not Ecclesiastes, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2. I want to find, I think I might have passed it. Okay, here it is, verse 7. For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth, which is the Heavenly Father Yahweh, by way of his prophecy, because that's his word, okay, will let, until he, being these devils, be taken out of the way, because they are the reason behind these types of agendas, blocking out the sun, which it goes further than just those agendas, because it leads back to, let me get that real quick, Jeremiah 31, which we often read, because it's very important. Because they know that you are the higher ups, that is. They know that you're the Israelites, man. So if you read Jeremiah 31 and 35 says, thus said Yahweh, which giveth the sun for a light by day, which we just talked about, right? And the ordinances of the moon and of the stars for a light by night, which divideth the sea when the waves thereof roar. Yahweh of hosts is his name. So the reason why they want to block out the sun, they have a lesser agenda. But the ultimate reason behind that is because if they can just achieve one of these things written in the scriptures, we can block out the sun, they're not going to be his people. So then what? He's got to accept us or love everybody or whatever, however they're thinking. They want to take over and run the earth. They want to be I am. They want to call themselves I am. They want to call themselves the Heavenly Father, the Creator, all right? The power of the universe. If those ordinances depart from before me, said Yahweh, then the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me forever. You don't think he knows this? They're wiser than Daniel. They have the money, the means, and the time to search these things out, man. And they're trying to diligently, they accomplish a diligent search. They are diligently seeking how to stop you Israelites from receiving the promised blessings. See? They want to upset prophecy. Thus said Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured and the foundations of the earth searched out beneath, I will also cast off all the seed of Israel for all that they have done, said Yahweh. See, they want to bring our sins before the Lord and have him judge us accordingly and not have mercy upon us. That's the ultimate goal for us. For you ridiculous Israelites that want to love everybody, especially Esau, Edom. Like, damn, we'll give you a pass for the other nations, but Esau, come on, man. And we're not with any of the nations. I was just making a point though. Esau of all, come on, man. So going back, it says what again? For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. That's what we need. We need all the nations to get bowed down. But ultimately, Esau, Edom has to go, man. And that's why after 1,000 years, as according to Obadiah 1:18, he will be taken out of the way. You see? And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, which is starting now by the prophets, the teaching, shouting down Babylon, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. All right, the actual wars. Okay. Let me get one more before we go back. Is that Proverbs 29? It might be another chapter. Let me just punch it up. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Let me pull that back up. I want something else. Come on. In authority. I think it's a Proverbs. Might be wrong. Oh, yeah, I was right. Proverbs 29. Yep, I should have went there. I wasn't sure, though, because I was thinking about something else. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Basically, when Yahushua, right, in due time, the Lord will set up over this earth one that is profitable. That is Yahushua. And he's going to have an ordering government, okay? So when the righteous are in authority, when the kingdom of heaven is established, the people of the earth will rejoice. Not that, well, yeah, take that back, because the earth will rejoice, man. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Yeah, so not only the people going to rejoice of the earth, beginning with us, because we're the most downtrodden ones, the Israelites, But the other nations are eventually going to see, like, man, this is so much better when the Israelites are in power. Even though before we thought wrong, we thought opposite. But even the earth is going to be happy, man. See if we can find that. Here it is. Let me give it that one. No, let me get 5. Oh, wait, let me get 4. All right. Isaiah 14:4. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, going back to what? The gates of the nobles, which are the banking families, and say, how have the oppressors ceased? The golden city ceased. That's Babylon the Great, America the West. Yahweh hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Their power seat says that in Revelation 12. You're taken out of heaven, out of power. He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, meaning all the nations of the earth, even their own people are oppressed by these devils, man. In which they're all devils, but we're talking about the higher up devils, all right? The so-called elite. It says with a continual stroke, because the main ones are always the Israelites, the controversy of Zion. It says with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations, you see, the nations, plural, in anger, is persecuted and none hindereth, because he's a fugitive and a vagabond. So it's nothing for, and I mentioned this once before, sometime last year, is a dope manga, all right, that I used to like to read, called Vagabond, okay? I believe it was like not a samurai, or I forgot what he was. But anyways, it was like set like, like an ancient type Japan type of setting. And it was what the title says, a vagabond. And so, he would go here and there. And, a lot of times, just like natural, with these stories, trouble brews up from where he is, and that's the same thing with Esau Edom. He's a fugitive and a vagabond from justice. He has an open case, all right? He's running around. He got free on bail because the Lord gave him bail, all right? He set the bond. He paid the bond. He's out on bail, and he's a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And everywhere he goes, he starts and stirs up trouble, and then he runs to another place and does the same thing. And wherever he goes, destruction follows, man. You see? But he's soon going to be caught by the authorities and brought to the Lord's courts, man, to be judged. So it says the whole earth, getting to the point, not only the people, but it says the whole earth is at rest and is quiet. They break forth into singing. Yeah, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. And look at what they're doing, man. Okay, as if it wasn't enough to try to depopulate the population of the earth, but then you want to depopulate the population of the trees with the deforestation agenda. Let me read it again. The fir trees rejoice at thee. The tree, because everything has life, man. Okay, it may not be the same type of life as us humans, but the earth lives. The earth breathes. The trees, the plants. All right, these things are living creatures too, man. You see. So it says, the fir trees rejoice at thee, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow is come up against us. You see? And what are they talking about? Chopping down 70 million plus trees and burying the trees, all right? And did we not just talk about the photosynthesis process? All right? They take in the sunlight because the trees need the sunlight for energy, okay? They take in the carbon from the air. They take in the water, other minerals, which the minerals are in the water anyways, under the earth. That's why their roots grow deep. And in the photosynthesis process, they convert these things to energy and whatever else they need, but they also put out oxygen, which we need, man. And they want to cut down these trees. The trees are living creatures. They want to cut down these trees and bury them. You see? So let's go back. I really want to read it. Hell from beneath is moved for thee to meet thee at thy coming. It stirreth up the dead for thee, even all the chief ones of the earth. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations, man. Okay. Let me get one more down here. Yeah. Verse 15 says, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to death, to the sides of the pit, man. All right. The elites won't. They'll get dragged out of bunkers and be the first slaves, and they're going to continue to produce more children for slaves, all right? But anyways, they that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee and consider thee, saying, is this the man that made the earth to tremble, that did shake kingdoms, that made the world as a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of his prisoners? Yeah, all the nations are going to eventually look back and see, damn, Babylon got us, man. Okay? We're not innocent either, but at least they're taken out of the way, because though we came together with them against the Israelites, ultimately, they were never with us in the first place. Everything was about them. You see? Everybody's going to see these little red devils, man. It was all because of you. And that was planned for you. A vessel made to dishonor. Okay? fitted for wrath, the wrath of the Heavenly Father, man, his righteous indignation. All right, so let me go back to this. Let me find where we were. I think we were still reading this one because we're going to pull up the other one in a second because it's pretty much the same thing. But, you know, this is, you know, you can say a touchy subject, all right? But hey, you know, we supposed to love the Lord's creations, man. All right, so it says, to top it off, the payments processing company Stripe will provide a $250,000. Oh, actually, we read that already. So there's a video that says Bill Gates is investing in a system of chopping down and burying trees to reduce carbon dioxide in the air. This is a business because they are getting money for carbon offsets. Right? Insane. All right. And that's all that they're about, man. Money, man. Let's play this video.
Bill Gates and other investors are betting Kodama Systems can reduce carbon dioxide in the air by chopping down and burying trees, which has raised $6.6 million in seed funding from Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy and others. Scientists say burying trees can reduce global warming as well. I don't know where they're finding these scientists, by the way. To help address the problem, the U.S. Forest Services aims to thin out 70 million acres of western forests, mostly in California, over the next decade, extracting more than 1 billion tons of bone-dried biomass. Normally, when you cut down trees, when you're a lumberjack, when you have a lumber company, you're selling the lumber to build houses, people buying from Home Depot or whatever. They're arguing that they want to, rather than sell the timber, take all that wood and just bury it, because they're saying that that is a better solution. And so, in other words, this is a business because they're getting money to create carbon offsets. And this is what Bill Gates is financing.
Crazy. See? And people understand, not everybody, of course, but, you know, there's an understanding of some individuals, man, what this is all about, man. It's nonsense. Okay, that was the end of that article. Here, Bill Gates plans to chop down billions of trees to radically address climate change. And they'll go anywhere because we're going to pull this same article up, or similar article up here where I first saw it. Okay. Which sparked, you know, what I was just, you know, those scriptures and stuff like that. Well, not all of them, because a couple other came up. So it's Insidious Bill, Genocide Gates. His middle name, Genocide Gates, right? All right. And his investor cohorts plan to, and the guy was right in the video, like, where are you finding these scientists, man? But we know it's all, you know, we know what goes on, man. Maybe we may not know exactly, you know, the ins and outs, everything, but you know what I mean. It says the cohorts plan to chop down billions of trees and bury them in order to fix climate change. That's what they are telling us, okay? Which is just crazy. All right, it's pretty much the same thing here, man. Was there? Yeah. Okay. Also, cause that was that's why I wanted to come over here, but it was the same video. Let me see.
Bill Gates and other investors are betting Kodama Systems can reduce carbon dioxide in the air by chopping down and burying trees, which has raised $6.6 million in seed funding from Bill Gates' Breakthrough Energy and others. Scientists say burying trees can reduce global warming as well. I don't know where they're finding these scientists, by the way. To help address the problem, the U.S. Forest Services aims to thin out 70 million acres of western forests, mostly in California, over the next decade, extracting more than 1 billion tons of bone-dried biomass. Normally, when you cut down trees, when you're a lumberjack, when you have a lumber company, you're selling the lumber to build houses, people buying from Home Depot or whatever. They're arguing that they want to, rather than sell the timber, take all that wood and just bury it, because they're saying that that is a better solution. And so, in other words, this is a business because they're getting money to create carbon offsets. And this is what Bill Gates is financing.
You see, it's crazy, man. Okay, but this is why these devils have to be taken out of the way. They have to be taken out of the way, man. Okay. Things run a lot deeper than what we see on the surface, man, when we dig into these men's agendas and the things that they're doing, right? That's why it says that if you know, like, basically, just to put it in, you know, perspective, the Lord doesn't return, no flesh shall be saved, man. Because look at what they're doing, man. Okay? And they make money from these things. And it's all about money to them. Because they don't care if everyone else is unhealthy. All right? They say, hey, well, they'll just make more children. They'll grow up and we'll just, you know, indoctrinate them too. And okay, so, well, they died, right? They have children here, right? They don't care, because as long as they're happy and they're healthy and their pockets are constantly being fattened, that's all that matters. They want to stay in rulership and power, and rule it as a hammer. Okay, the hammer of the earth. How have you been cut asunder? Okay, so this is why all the nations are going to rejoice when it talks about in Revelation 18 when America is destroyed. Because look at what, and it's really not America, it's those that run America. And those people are not here in America. They're back east because they know America is going to get destroyed. Okay? But yeah, man, that's pretty much all I had, because we don't have to read this again. It's the same thing there. I wasn't really sure, but I had both of those articles on deck. All right, so I mean, that's it, man. So, hey, it is what it is with these people, and they're going to be taken out of the way soon come. So, Lord will, you edify to next time. That's all I'm going to say. Shalom.